Would you look at that? 2 wins in a row for the Colorado Rockies as they take down the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight, playing that spoiler role that I've been talking about. Final score 8-2, a bludgeoning of Arizona tonight. You love to see it. Ryan Feltner was on point for the Rocks on the bump. Got some good production from Ezequiel Tovar and company tonight in the lineup. You love to see that. And good old Buddy Black. Good old Buddy Black making some history tonight in a good way for the Colorado Rockies. I'll tell you what that is when we get started right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Rockies postcast, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, everybody? I am your host of the Locked On Rockies postcast, Aniello Piro. Hope you guys are doing well out there on this Tuesday evening as the Colorado Rockies take down the Arizona Diamondbacks in solid fashion, winning tonight 8-2. And tonight's episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. More from our friends over at FanDuel a little bit later on in the program, but look at that, 2 victory shows in a row. Last night was a close one with the Rockies coming out in front in walk-off fashion, and tonight it is the polar opposite as the Arizona Diamondbacks did not have much life in this game because the Rockies' offense came to life, putting up some base hits, scoring 8 runs, and taking advantage of Jordan Montgomery on the mound today. Ryan Feltner was great. Let's start here, though. We'll break down the game in its entirety here in just a few moments. Bud Black tonight with the Rockies. Let me start that over because I want to chop this for a clip, and I don't want to say tonight because then I'm going to, have to edit that out. Let me start. 3, 2, 1. Bud Black becoming the winningest manager in Colorado Rockies history with their 8-2 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks. That is now 535 wins for Mr. Buddy B, the most all-time in franchise history. He surpasses Clint Hurdle. And Don Baylor, the great Don Baylor, is in third on that list. And congratulations to Buddy Black. I know it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for him, in particular these last handful of seasons. But those back-to-back postseason runs in 17 and 18, those were magical. Those were really, really fun Rockies baseball teams. And like I said, while it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, up and down, trades, thinning of the roster, Chris Bryant debacle, Buddy Black has been seeing it through. And I know that, this has been an awful season for the Rockies. Last year wasn't so good, but for him to be the winningest manager in franchise history, that means you're doing something right. So congratulations to Buddy Black, a guy that I've always been a fan of. And, he's always treated me well personally. When I was a young pup cutting my teeth in the media, 17, 18, 19 years old is when I first started covering this team. I don't think Buddy knew I was that young, but treated me just like every other reporter in that clubhouse. So, like I said, I know the results haven't been there the last handful of seasons, but it's still a milestone. Now, whenever you have a trivia question of who's the winningest manager in Rockies history, you're going to know the answer because it's Buddy Black. And love to see it tonight. And nice to see them get it in convincing fashion, right? And really just a nice little 2-game little streak here for the Rocks, as I mentioned in the open. Thrilling walk-off victory last night, and then just a nice thorough Coors Field game tonight. Like, this is the type of baseball that we expect from the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. Taking advantage of an opponent, putting up runs, keeping the pressure on them, and that's exactly what they did as they take down the Diamondbacks tonight 8-2. And, of course, Buddy Black being the winningest manager in franchise history. So if you guys got any thoughts or comments on Buddy Black, make sure to drop them. I can read them on the screen as we're live here tonight on your Locked On Rockies postcast. If you have any good Buddy Black memories, I have a gazillion of those. All right, I'll tell you one real quick. just because it's kind of a nostalgic night, right? Couple weeks left in the season. The Rockies aren't going anywhere. They're going to lose 100 games. So let's have a little bit of fun. This was, I feel like it had to have been 2017. I'm forgetting off the top of my head because they clinched at home, and Jonathan Lucroy was on that team. So now I got to look it up. Hold on. Now I want to get my facts right. I'm forgetting because 2018 was when they had to play that game 163 against the Dodgers, if memory serves me correctly. Maybe I'm getting the years mixed up. Let me check real quick when Jonathan Lucroy was a member of the Rockies. I believe it was that 2017 season. And yes, my memory is correct. It was the 2017 season. So the Rockies clinch a spot in the playoffs, first time in quite some time that the Rockies were back playing in the MLB postseason. And man, I must have been definitely not 21. I don't know if I should have said that, but I wasn't drinking or anything like that. But I was a young pup cutting my teeth in the media industry. And since they were able to clinch a playoff spot at home, obviously the media gets to be a part of the celebration. I guess not a part of the celebration, but they get to cover the celebration, right? And so I'll never forget me and my boy Jake Shapiro, who's currently working for 104.3 The Fan. We were the young pups, new kids on the block covering the team that season. We were there almost every single game. I mean, we were at Coors Field. I basically lived there. My apartment was literally down the street. I could walk to Coors Field if I wanted to at the time while I was going to college. And I'll just never forget, I don't know where we got them, but somehow I ended up with some ski goggles and a poncho. And I'm like, all right, I've definitely seen this on TV before, but I didn't really know what to expect fully. And lo and behold, we walk into this Rockies clubhouse. And remember, this is when Gerardo Parra was the life of the party, the heartbeat of the team. This is pre-Baby Shark Gerardo Parra. And you got Carlos Gonzalez still, and you've got Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story, David Dahl, right? And it was a good time to be a Rocky fan. And I'll never forget walking into that clubhouse and being in a pool of beer and champagne. Literally, your shoes would be a couple inches submerged. When you're in the shower and sometimes your drain's a little clogged, right? So you have that little shallow pool of water at your feet. That's exactly how I would describe it for that playoff postseason clinching celebration for the Rockies. And the Buddy Black aspect of this story is, I'm trying to ask some questions, right? Buddy's doing his scrum, and I'll leave this reporter's name out of it. But, like I said, I'm small potatoes at the time. And, Buddy Black is getting peppered with questions. I think it may have been a one-on-one, if I remember correctly, but he saw me to his side. And after the one-on-one was done, he made sure to turn right over to me and let me ask my questions. And I guess that's kind of part of the ordeal, but he didn't have to do that, right? And there was other reporters there, but I'll never forget, he turned to me and was like, all right, it kind of gave me the nod, the sign of it's your time, kid. And I got to ask a couple questions. It was probably dumb questions, probably the same questions that were just asked to him before. Cause I was like, what is going on? Cutting my teeth. And, I'm a kid at the time, essentially, breaking into the industry with Mile High Sports. And that's Buddy Black, man. He treats everybody with respect. He treats everybody the same. And that just meant a lot to me at the time. And it was just such a surreal experience being in the clubhouse for that. Just being around Buddy and the guys. There was another time when I was producing for Eric Goodman and Les Shapiro down in Phoenix, Arizona for spring training. And Buddy Black was actually coming on to the show that they were doing at the casino at the time. And I was his handler. I say that in air quotes. So, he's trying to scoot over from the ballpark to the casino to do the radio hit. And I'm texting him Buddy, where you at? They're back on air here in a couple of minutes. And he pulls right up in front of the spot. And I get to walk with him through the casino, chop it up with him a little bit. I don't know, just really fond memories that I have of Buddy Black, that apply to me personally in my career. And so I'm just super stoked that Buddy is now the winningest manager all time in Colorado Rockies history, 535 wins. As I mentioned, it has not been all smooth sailing for him, but he's got the job done, and at least for the time being, no one's going to be able to take that away from him. Maybe there'll be somebody else that wins 500 plus games, 600 plus games for the Rockies in the future. I think we all hope so. But for the time being, Buddy Black is the winningest manager in franchise history, and just stoked for that because he's one of the good guys in Major League Baseball. So a little nostalgia tug to get us started on the show here tonight, but I definitely wanted to talk about it on this historic night for Buddy, and a good night, a victory show for the Rockies as they take down the Arizona Diamondbacks 8-2. So like I said, if you guys have any fond memories or just, love for Buddy Black, go ahead and drop some comments. Let me know. It's a night of celebration to an extent for the Rockies. I know maybe some people are like, well, they're going to lose 100 games. It doesn't matter. But, there's only one winningest manager in franchise history at a time. And it took Buddy, a decade plus to surpass his friend Clint Hurdle. And like I said, just cool stuff. So I wanted to make sure to start the show off on that note and have some fun there. But let's hit that break so we can dive into this game here tonight. The Rockies getting the job done. 8-2 your final score. Explosive offense tonight. Middle of the lineup came to play. Ryan McMahon. I feel like I haven't been able to say anything positive about Ryan McMahon in quite some time. He had himself a night. Tovar had himself a night. And Brenton Doyle's a stud with the glove, man. He is a fantastic baseball player. So let's hit our first break. When we come back, we can continue along with the conversation and break down this game for you tonight as the Rockies take down the Arizona Diamondbacks, playing that spoiler role. Final score 8-2. Stick with us, folks. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to talk about the game right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. All right, and let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks, guys. You're going to want to listen up because Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. And guys, there's a gazillion different reasons that you want to get involved with our friends over at Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get your action in on sports in most states across the country. And if you want to play Prize Picks alongside celebrities like Drewski, Joe Budden, and Sugar Sean O'Malley, you can now find their plays under the Community Plays tab, under the Promos tab of the app, to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineup stays in play even if one of your players gets injured. You got to love that. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, your Prize Picks are still alive. You love that. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your picks don't hit. That's incredible. Be sure to check out our friends over at Prize Picks, guys. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. And one more time, guys, be sure to download that Prize Picks app today and use that code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. Code LOCKEDONMLB and get on that bonus with our friends over at Prize Picks, guys. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I am your host with the most, Aniello Piro. You guys can follow me on social media at Media by AP. And do me a favor, subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. I'm building this channel up all on my own as I'm the host of your Locked On Rockies postcast, Locked On Buffs postcast, and Locked On Broncos postcast. And we're working on a little something for the Nuggies as well. So make sure to subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never miss an episode of your favorite Locked On Denver Sports postcast. We'll take that lower third down there for a minute. But okay, let's dive right on into it, folks. The Rocks tonight, 8-2, your final score. Love to see it. Offense came to life, which has not normally been the case this season. 12 base hits for the Rocks tonight is how they generate those 8 runs. And solid production all across the board. They scored 2 runs in the second, a run in the third, 2 more in the sixth, 1 more in the seventh, and then the final 2 runs there in the eighth inning. So nice for the Rockies to kind of spread the love a little bit, spread it all out instead of just one big inning, which, I mean, you'll take the runs any way you can get them at this point in the season. But just a good night at the office overall. Brenton Doyle had an RBI tonight. Ezequiel Tovar, 3 hits. He's hitting .266 on the season. No strikeouts for Brenton Doyle or Ezequiel Tovar or Ryan McMahon for that matter, as McMahon drives in a run, draws 2 walks, 2 base hits. Brendan Rodgers, a pair of base hits. Michael Toglia with a hit. Stallings with a hit. Goodman with a hit. Nolan Jones, the only member of the Rockies lineup tonight that did not get a hit, unfortunately. Jordan Beck also had 2 base hits. And it has been a disastrous season for Nolan Jones. This season needs to end for Nolan Jones because he's a lot better than what we've seen from him this year, and he needs a little bit of time to just kind of get away, mentally reset, and do that, because we know that Nolan Jones is better than what we've seen this year. But I'll chalk it up to just a down year for Mr. Jones. But like I said, just a good all-around night at the office for the Rocks. They get those first 2 runs there in the bottom half of the second inning. Michael Toglia set the table for the Rocks in the bottom half of the second with his 12th double of the year, and then back-to-back doubles as Jacob Stallings follows it up with his 15th double of the season. That brings around Mr. Toglia to score. You absolutely love to see that. And then after Hunter Goodman and Nolan Jones are both retired, Jordan Beck with the 3rd double of the inning, his 6th of the year. That brings around Stallings to score, and just like that, the Rockies are up 2-0. So you love to see it. And like I said, the Rockies did a good job of stringing some runs together. Ezequiel Tovar, the man himself, one of the best shortstops in Major League Baseball. I haven't said it in a while, but Tovar needs to be talked about the same way that Elly De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz are talked about. This kid is the truth, guys. He's the absolute truth. He's a stud. And he gives the Rockies an insurance run there in the bottom half of the 3rd inning with his 25th home run of the year. I don't think he'll quite get to 30, but there's a good chance that he'll be the team leader in home runs this season. And, man, I didn't think that Tovar had this kind of pop in his bat. I knew that he was sound defensively. I thought he could be a nice table setter at the top of the lineup, nice contact hitter, but he's been hitting for home runs and doubles all season long. And I heard on the broadcast, it might be for home runs as well, Tovar has more doubles away from Coors Field than he does at Coors Field, which is just insane to me, considering that the natural kind of built-in advantage you have of playing 80-plus home games a year at Coors Field. So shout out Ezequiel Tovar, but of course it was the home run there in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Diamondbacks add a single run there in the 4th after a couple of runners get on. That was really the only type of traffic or serious traffic that Ryan Feltner would have to navigate tonight. He was really efficient, sharp on the mound. We'll talk about Feltner here in a moment. So the Rockies go quiet in the 4th and the 5th, and then another pair of runs are added for Colorado there in the bottom half of the 6th inning, which is all good right now. Like I said, you'll take them any way you can get. Nolan Jones was able to draw that 1-out walk. Jordan Beck hits a single. Brenton Doyle brings him home with a sacrifice fly there as well. And the Rockies are going to end up going up 4-1 there. So you love to see it. Ezequiel Tovar then drives in a run as well with an RBI single in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And then it was just, a couple more insurance runs along the way. Nothing major for the Rocks. Hunter Goodman, his 13th home run of the year, comes in the bottom half of the 7th. So that's another insurance run. Rocks up 6-1. And then bottom half of the 8th inning as well, guys. Ryan McMahon coming through with an RBI. Brendan Rodgers coming through with an RBI. And that is your scoring sequence breakdown for Los Rockies tonight. And like I said, we're 2 weeks away from the end of the season. Also, I got my Brenton Doyle shirt on. This was also one of the coolest giveaways that the Rockies did at Coors Field this season. I happen to be in attendance in the game in which they gave these bad boys away. Super high quality t-shirt. So shout out to the Rocks promotion department and choosing the right player in Brenton Doyle to do the giveaway based around. You got to get something for Tovar next year. But, love to see the production from Colorado's lineup tonight. Jordan Montgomery for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was his first start in a little while. He only went 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts for that's the stat line there for Jordan Montgomery. But the Diamondbacks, man, they have been on a skid as of late. And I believe that's 4 losses now in their last 5 games. My Mets, the team that I grew up rooting for, now second place, or the Pendleton is the number 2 wild card. Love to see that. So the Rockies helping out the Metsies. Love to see it. And also beating that division rival in the process. And this was one of the things that I harped on. I think it was when I came back from what I was dealing with last week. So that would have been Sunday's show. The Rockies have an opportunity to play spoiler here down the stretch. They got the Dodgers, I think, 2 series to end the year. Obviously, this current series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And just because you're not in the race doesn't mean that you can't impact the race. And for the Rockies to go out there and like they could easily roll over. It could easily be 1-2-3 Cancun, right? With 100 losses rapidly approaching. But shout out to the Rocks for keeping their heads locked into the game, winning last night in walk-off fashion, and then following it up with an 8-2 victory to play a little bit of that spoiler role for the Arizona Diamondbacks and helping out some of these other teams in the National League. You got to have some pride, and right now the Rockies are playing with pride down the stretch. So we'll see if they can keep that up, try to secure a series sweep mañana, and see where that goes from there. But love to see it. And, got to enjoy these victory shows while we're able to. So 8-2, your final score. Colorado improves to 59-93. Arizona falls to 83-68, currently in third place in that National League West and fighting for their playoff livelihood with just a couple of weeks left in the Major League Baseball season. All right, let's hit our final break. Wow, this show's zooming by. We'll hit our final break. We'll come back. Let's talk about Ryan Feltner's outing tonight and then a couple of closing thoughts as we get you guys out of here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in and stick with us. We'll be back continuing along with the conversation when we come back. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. And I say this all the time. I'm an active FanDuel user. I'm a huge fan of FanDuel. And you've heard me talk about FanDuel a lot, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com. Visit FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. And I was looking at some of the lines for the NFL. We got the Thursday Night Football coming up. Broncos taking on the Buccaneers, right? So plenty of action on FanDuel. And I think FanDuel is one of, if not the first sports book that I ended up using when sports betting first became legal here in Colorado. And I've never left. Sometimes these other books get chewed up and spit out. I have been a loyal FanDuel user since day one, and I think it's going to stay that way for the long haul, guys. It is my preferred sports book. Love the menus, love the options. If you're into betting spreads and totals like I am, a little bit more traditional, it's great for that. If you want to do those player props or those same game parlays, they're fantastic for that. They're going to give you boosts every week, anytime touchdown, profit boost, risk-free stuff. At least that's what I've had throughout the start of football season. There's no reason that if you're betting sports legally in the United States that you should not be doing it on the FanDuel Sportsbook. It is, in my opinion, the best sports book out there right now, and you're going to want to get involved. Check them out, FanDuel.com/lockedon. And one more time, guys, again, now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket, NFL Red Zone. These are essentials to the NFL viewing experience, and you're going to get some weeks on the house from our friends over at FanDuel with YouTube and YouTube TV as well. So be sure to check them out, FanDuel.com/lockedon. Take advantage of that promotion, and good luck on your wagers this season. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. Hope you guys are doing well out there. You can follow me on social at Media by AP. And make sure to subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never miss an episode of your favorite Locked On Denver Sports postcast hosted by yours truly. Rockies, Broncos, Buffs. We've got it all right here on the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe. That way you never miss an episode. But spent the first segment doing all Buddy Black. Talked about the offense here in the second segment. Let's dive into Ryan Feltner's outing tonight. Just his third win of the season. But if you've listened to any of my postcasts on games in which Ryan Feltner pitches, you can't read into his record. He's been better than his record says he is. And it's not like the NFL where you are what your record says you are. There's a lot of different factors that plays in to the wins and the losses for a starting pitcher. So he goes out there tonight, really efficient was Ryan Feltner, just short of 7 full innings pitched. He finishes with 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, which is great. 1 run, it was earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. His ERA is now at 4.73. So Ryan Feltner gets the job done. And I think he's got a spot in the Rockies rotation moving forward for sure. You know, we saw Antonio Senzatella coming back from the injury last night. That was great to see. We'll see what the future holds with German Marquez. Obviously, you've got Kyle Freeland, who's been solid since coming back off the injured list. I think Ryan Feltner is going to have a home in this Rockies rotation moving forward. I think he's proven himself, despite what his record says he is, throughout the course of this season. So he was great tonight. Luis Peralta cleaned up the end of the 7th inning for him. So just a third of an inning pitched. Did give up a walk, but nothing outside of that for Luis Peralta. And the bullpen's actually been pretty good here down the stretch, guys. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But Jaden Hill, 1 clean inning of work or actually not a clean inning. He gave up an earned run there, but Shavili is in particular the guy that's been solid for the Rockies out of the bullpen. Angel Shavili, let's take a look at his last handful. He's only 22 years old, lefty as well. You love that out of the bullpen. Looking at his last few outings, he's been great for the Rockies. He threw an inning and a third last night, 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts. Changeup is nasty on the 11th of September against Detroit, inning and 2/3, 1 hit, a strikeout, clean. I mean, when was the last time Shavili gave up a run? Last time Shavili gave up an earned run, believe it or not, guys, was back on August 30th. So let's do some quick math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 consecutive outings now for Shavili, or appearances rather, that he's not given up a run, let alone an earned run at that point. Zeros for the most part all across the board. And tonight, he was fantastic in getting that win secured. It wasn't a save, obviously, but securing the win for the Rockies, pitching that 9th inning, 1 inning, zeros across the board. He did have 1 walk and 2 strikeouts, but no hits, no runs, and you love to see that. So hopefully a sign of things to come for this Rockies bullpen. Like I said, for the last month or two, they've been in this like little experiment, really just the last month, middle of August to now. They've been in this experimental mode, you know, throwing different guys out there in different situations, different guys starting, different guys coming out of the bullpen in different roles. And some of it's worked, some of it hasn't, AKA stop pitching Justin Lawrence. And I like Justin Lawrence. He's a nice guy, one of the good guys to talk to in that clubhouse. But the results for J-Law have just been disgusting. And when you have, you know, Tyler Kinley, who's been all right, you know, he blew that 1 save about a month ago, but he's been fine since. Shavili tonight, great. Halverson was dynamite last night. And like I said, you know, it's been odd to see a combination of good starting pitching and good bullpen pitching in some of these wins for the Rockies here as of late. That's not usually the case. So, like I said, though, we'll take it any way we can get it at this point. But let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow for the Rockies before we get out of here, guys. And we'll see if they can take care of business and make it 3 in a row and continue to play that spoiler role against the Arizona Diamondbacks. It'll be Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for Arizona. He's 2-3 with a 5.50 ERA. And it'll be Austin Gomber on the bump for Colorado. Taking a look at Rodriguez's last time out. His last appearance came on September the 13th. 5 innings pitched. This was against Milwaukee. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, give a home run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So bit of a mixed bag for him this season. But I think if the Rockies are going to be able to put forth an effort like they did tonight, hopefully, and that's the key, guys. Arizona's bullpen, I think I saw the infographic on the screen. The Diamondbacks bullpen has an ERA of like 6+ in like the last 2 weeks. So if the Rockies can get to their bullpen, they're going to set themselves up for success and have an opportunity to pile on some runs as they did tonight. And Southpaw Austin Gomber, the 30-year-old on the mound tomorrow for Colorado. His last time out, let's take a look here, was on September the 13th against the Cubs. Gave up 9 hits, but ends up going 6 innings and only gives up 2 runs. So a solid outing from Austin Gomber, and his start before that was a masterclass against the Atlanta Braves. 8 full innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run it was earned, and 6 strikeouts. So Gomber has settled into a nice groove. Let's see. I mean, he had a bad start against the Mets on August 8th, but ever since then, he's been solid. 6 innings on the 13th against Arizona, 7 innings on the 20th against Washington, 6 innings against the Yankees on the 25th. On the 30th of August, 6 innings pitched against Baltimore, so nice back-to-back starts. And then, like I said, so far in September, 8 strong innings against Atlanta and 6 solid innings against the Cubs last week. So it'll be Austin Gomber on the bump. and we'll have to see how that shakes out. But that is going to do it for me tonight, folks, on this episode of the Locked On Rockies postcast. As always, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel, and you can follow me as well on social media at Media by AP. Rocks win 8-2. Buddy Black is the winningest manager in franchise history, and that's all she wrote for tonight's Locked On Rockies postcast. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks. We'll talk to you guys mañana after the series finale between the Rockies and the Diamondbacks.